Create a YouTube 16:9 video using this script. Table of contents, about 7 sections, a cascade of crises, the timeline of escalation, the key players on a dangerous stage, the new rules of shadow war. Why now? The accelerants of conflict, 3 paths forward, de-escalation, containment, conflagration, written by David Ignatius. Section 1. A cascade of crises, the timeline of escalation. A crisis does not erupt in a vacuum. It is the culmination of 1,000 small cuts, a slow burn that suddenly flashes into a raging fire. The current state of tension between Israel and Iran is a textbook example of this dangerous progression. To truly grasp why the specter of a wider war looms so large today, October 16, 2025, we must trace the sequence of events that brought us here. The timeline is not just a record of the past, it is a map of the escalating logic now governing both nations. Each incident, seemingly isolated, has added another layer of fuel to a smoldering conflict. The last year, a steady drumbeat of hostile actions. It began in earnest last spring. May, a mysterious, powerful explosion rocked a sensitive facility deep inside Iran. The site had long been linked by Western intelligence to advanced weapons development. No one claimed responsibility, but the attack bore the hallmarks of a sophisticated covert operation. June, the focus shifted to the Gulf's strategic waterways. Drone attacks, limpet mine attacks. These incidents targeted commercial tankers, disrupting global shipping routes. They sent tremors through energy markets. Each side pointed fingers. Ambiguity heightened insecurity and mistrust. Summer brought no relief. July, Israel publicly acknowledged multiple airstrikes in Syria. The strikes aimed to interdict Iranian weapons convoys destined for Hezbollah in Lebanon. August, reports of cyber attacks against critical infrastructure. September, more cyber incidents. Cyber attacks disrupted power grids. Cyber attacks disrupted port operations. This tit-for-tat exchange escalated in scope and audacity, creating the volatile pattern we see today. The chain of events shows a crucial point. The unofficial rules of engagement that once contained the conflict have eroded. What was a shadow war fought through proxies and in third countries is now creeping into the open. Each side shows greater willingness to absorb and inflict direct damage. The strikes have become more daring, the rhetoric more bellicose, the potential for a fatal miscalculation more acute. The pattern is a steady, deliberate climb up the ladder of escalation. This is the perilous context in which leaders in Tehran and Jerusalem make decisions with region-altering consequences. Section 3. The nature of the conflict between Israel and Iran has undergone a significant transformation. The long-standing shadow war has entered a new, more dangerous phase. A greater willingness to engage in direct, often unclaimed attacks. This shift is driven by technological advancements, evolving strategic calculations, and a mutual erosion of restraint. The unwritten rules that once confined the fighting are being dismantled. The risk of a direct military clash has grown substantially. Both sides are testing each other's red lines with bolder, damaging actions. That blurs clandestine warfare and open hostilities. One major change: proliferation and sophisticated use of unmanned aerial vehicles, drones. As tensions simmer, the trajectory of the Israel-Iran conflict is not predetermined. It will be shaped by choices made in the coming weeks and months by leaders in Jerusalem, Tehran, other world capitals. Broadly, we can envision 3 possible paths forward, each with vastly different consequences. The path taken will depend on deterrence, diplomacy, and the risk of miscalculation. The first and most hopeful path is active de-escalation. Leaders deliberately step back from the brink. Reliance on back-channel diplomacy and intermediaries. Oman, Switzerland. Mutual agreement to avoid highly sensitive sites and mass casualties. This lowers the immediate risk of war and restores a measure of stability. The second path is contained, limited escalation, a tit-for-tat cycle that stays below all-out war. More drone hits, more airstrikes in Syria, more cyber attacks, inherently unstable, one step from miscalculation. The third and most devastating path is a regional conflagration triggered by a major red line breach. Ripple effects, mass rocket fire, proxy attacks on U.S. forces, Hormuz disruptions, global economic shock. In a crisis this fluid, it is crucial to know what signals to watch for. Key indicators: military movements, political rhetoric, attacks on critical infrastructure, involvement of external powers. Overt preparations: reserves mobilized, ground forces shift to borders, naval and bomber deployments. Prepositioning of defensive assets is a major red flag. Watch for specific unconditional warnings that create costly red lines. A shift to striking core infrastructure or mass casualty events pushes toward a more violent phase. Outside powers. Major deployments or evacuations are powerful signals, deterrent or preparatory. The path toward a wider war is clear, direct, and frighteningly plausible. Advanced weaponry, regional instability, and escalating retaliation have created a dangerous moment. A miscalculation could spiral into a devastating regional conflagration. This is real. Human life, economic disruption, and long-term geopolitical chaos would be catastrophic. The stakes are incredibly high. The margin for error is perilously thin. War is not inevitable. The most critical tool is restoring communication via robust back channels, clarify intentions, de-conflict military activities, and prevent accidents from becoming casus belli. Couple restraint with avoiding high-casualty strikes that force disastrous responses. A unified Security Council message, coordinated pressure, and a framework for talks can give cover to step back. The future rests on a few decision-makers. They can keep escalating toward a conflict no one can win, or choose restraint and diplomacy. Mechanisms exist. The challenge is the political will to use them. Hope that wisdom prevails. Mutual survival beats mutual destruction. The world is watching, holding its breath. The narrow ledge of diplomacy, a hopeful but realistic conclusion.